Welcome to week 4 of the Iowa Conference Series here on YouTube, and we've got some more fantastic matchups set for this week, including a top 5 matchup, or top 6 matchup, that is, as number 5 takes on number 6. But first, let's review last week's action. First of all, Waverly-Shell Rock pulls off a huge win in an absolute shootout there at Grundy Center, 53-45. Texas A&M is too much for Central City, 41-24. Waterloo-Columbus can't quite get past Boise State, 21-14. In a user matchup, Cedar Falls takes care of Waterloo East, 36-17. My Don Bosco Dons went down to Lynn County and took down Cedar Rapids Kennedy, 65-23. Williamsburg is all over Indiana on the road, 56-21 in non-conference action. Starmont is way too much for Waterloo West, 62-10. Then a couple of non-conference games here to finish off the week. A good win for Gladbrook-Rhinebeck. They beat Maryland 34-24. And Iowa City West nearly pulls off a huge upset road win as they just fall to Georgia, ranked 3rd in the country, 44-41. And now let's take a look at this week's matchup. First of all, Cedar Falls, ranked number 9 in the country, heads down south to Johnson County as they will take on the Solon Spartans. In another user game, Waverly-Shell Rock is back at home as they host Central City. And in a big-time matchup, College Gameday is coming to Gilbertville as number 6 ranked Starmont takes on my 5th ranked Don Bosco Dons in the National Game of the Week. That will be a phenomenal football game. Remember, this is a rematch of the national title game from 2 years ago and the playoff quarterfinal from last year. Starmont won the Natty 2 years ago. Don Bosco with a bit of a controversial win last year. This will be a phenomenal matchup here for the Game of the Week. Other matchups without user teams, Iowa City West in non-conference action at Louisiana Tech. Williamsburg plays host to Buffalo. Gladbrook-Rhinebeck is at Cedar Rapids Prairie. It's the infamous Battle of Waterloo as West takes on East in that historic rivalry matchup. Waterloo-Columbus also at home as they host Bowling Green. And then in the nightcap, Cedar Rapids Kennedy hits the road to take on 20th ranked Iowa City High. A lot of phenomenal football games coming up this week. And of course, we have to start with the National Game of the Week. College Game Days in Gilbertville, and so are we. So let's get to the field now as number 6 Starmont takes on number 5 Don Bosco. And we're in for a big-time matchup here in Gilbertville. Starmont football first, and here comes Javius Bond getting the edge. Big gain inside the 15, down all the way to the 13-yard line. That's a big pickup for the Stars as they have 2nd and 1 here. Fitzgerald on the keep. In fact, is going to pitch it back, and Anwar Johnson could walk into the end zone from there. That's going to be a touchdown for Starmont as they strike first. They take a 7-0 lead here at Tom Ryan Field in Gilbertville. Don Bosco's first possession with the football. It's a give to Jerron Sunday. Good juke move. Makes another juke, and now he's got some room. Diving effort's not good there for the tackle for Starmont, and that's going to be a 75-yard touchdown sprint as Jerron Sunday on Don Bosco's first play from scrimmage goes 75 yards to the house. And we are tied at 7 here in Gilbertville. What an explosive play by Sunday. But Fitzgerald back in the pocket as a man going deep. Kylan Waters got beat as Michael Hilton makes the diving catch for the touchdown. And Starmont extends the lead there 14-7 as they break the tie. Now 3rd down here. Don Bosco trying to move the chains. Fitzgerald looking across the field. Gets rid of it to Hilton. It is caught, but the tackle is made short of the line to gain. And that's going to be a punting situation for Don Bosco as Starmont's threatening to extend their lead. Here comes Anwar Johnson getting outside. He's just faster than everybody else, and that's going to be a touchdown. Anwar Johnson gets in for his 2nd touchdown of the day. A big-time play there for the Stars as they lead 21-7. 4th down here for Don Bosco. They go back to Sunday, but he's going to be short of the line to gain. A big-time play there for the Starmont defense as they hold the Dons on 4th down. And now they're threatening to make it a 3-score game. Fitzgerald looking to throw. Gets rid of it for Johnson. It's caught for a touchdown. Anwar Johnson with his 3rd touchdown of the day. 2 rushing, 1 receiving. He's been unstoppable so far. Don Bosco finds himself in huge trouble, down 28-7. But here's some great blocking for Jerron Sunday, who breaks a tackle. He's got it into Starmont territory, finally dragged down to the 32-yard line. He's been a bright spot so far for the Dons. Play action pass for Fitzgerald. He's going deep down the field to C.J. Major, who makes a great catch. And now the Dons have 1st and goal, and they desperately need to get a score here. But now it's down to 3rd and goal. Fitzgerald in the pocket, stepping back, gets rid of it, and that is going to be caught for a touchdown, as looks like that was Braylon Seymour on the reception. And Don Bosco needed that one, that's for sure. But it's still a 2-score game, and Starmont has plenty of time left. It's 4th down, though. Can Don Bosco get off the field? This would be huge. Fitzgerald steps up in the pocket, gets rid of it, and it's going to be caught by C.J. Major for the first down conversion. That was a big play for Starmont, as now they have 1st and 10. Give is to Bond. Bond trying to get outside. Makes some men miss. Now he's going to go all the way, and he crosses the goal line for the touchdown. Touchdown for Starmont is what a momentum shift that was, as Don Bosco falls behind 35-14, and actually it would become 38-14. This field goal from John Cheridor, and that is your halftime score. Don Bosco just in massive trouble. The only good news for Don Bosco is they get the football first here in the second half. Fitzgerald looking to make a play, but that's a mistake, and it's intercepted by Evan McCormick. Nothing going right for Don Bosco here as Starmont makes a play. They're going to get the football back just 20 yards away from the end zone. And now they have 1st and goal. Fitzgerald gives to Javius Bond, who's getting outside. Great blocking, and nobody's going to catch him. Touchdown Stars, as this one is a blowout here in Gilbertville. Starmont just proving to be too much for Don Bosco right now. The Dons on 4th down and a yard. Jaron Sunday going to go backwards, loses a yard, and that's going to be a 4th down stop again for Starmont, as the Stars continue trying to make plays here and extending their lead. But there's the first real big play defensively for the Dons today, as Kylan Waters with the interception, his 2nd of the season, and Don Bosco gets it back. But they have 4th down once again, 4th and 1 from the 8. Fitzgerald gets out of the pocket, and is caught for a touchdown. Michael Hilton on the touchdown grab, as Don Bosco gets a desperately needed score, but really this one's already over with. But Don Bosco at least playing for some pride. Here in the last play of the 3rd quarter, Javius Bond on the carry again, and he's got fantastic blocking. Kylan Waters, the only one with a chance. He overran him, and he's going to go all the way. Javius Bond with a huge 64-yard touchdown sprint, and this one's getting embarrassing if you're Don Bosco, as Starmont continues to pull away with a 52-21 lead after 3 quarters. Fitzgerald standing back in the pocket, gets rid of it, but that's a mistake. Overthrown and intercepted by Kylan Waters. Blocking is there. He could go all the way. Fitzgerald can't make the tackle, and now nobody can. It's a touchdown. Kylan Waters with the pick 6, and that's just kind of the exclamation point on this one, as Starmont is all over Don Bosco. That's going to be a touchdown there, however, for the Dons, as Elijah Fitzgerald actually gets benched in this one, as Dylan Sexton comes in and finds Braylon Seymour for his 2nd touchdown reception of the day. But Starmont still fighting here, looking to extend their lead even further. Fitzgerald back in the pocket, hit as he throws, going end zone, and somehow, some way, that is caught by Michael Hilton in the back corner of the end zone for a touchdown. It was reviewed and upheld, and that is an incredible catch by Hilton. Don Bosco still fighting, as that's going to be a give to Jaron Sunday, who makes a nice juke move. Sunday down to the 25, breaks a tackle there with a juke move and down to the 13-yard line. What a run by Sunday. Now Dylan Sexton getting out of the pocket, looking end zone. He's going to take off, dives in, and he's going to get in for a touchdown. Dylan Sexton, who came in off the bench after Fitzgerald got benched, with a nice little end to this game, but it was too little too late, as just an absolutely dominant performance by Starmont. They win 66-35, the Dons with just one stop all day today. And now Don Bosco with their first conference loss of the season. Now we're over to Johnson County, as Cedar Falls is on the road taking on Solon, but Richard Arias gets back there for the sack. A big play there for the Spartans, but 3rd and 17. Adam Madison across the middle, and that is going to be caught for a first down to Ivan Berry on the reception there. So a big-time conversion there. And now Cedar Falls is going to have a touchdown. Deuce Washington III gets in for the touchdown run. And Cedar Falls is on the board here over Solon, 7-0. But Solon trying to make a play here, getting tricky on the double reverse, but Cedar Falls was having no part of that. They blow that up, as that's going to be a big loss there. But the Spartans would try a field goal here, and that is up and good. Randy Kelly knocks it in for the Spartans. They're within 4 points here, 7-3. And they would, in fact, get another try at a field goal here on 4th down and 6. Snap is down, kick is up, and it is good. So it's a 1-point ball game here at Spartan Stadium in Solon. 7-6 our score. Cedar Falls leads. They're trying to make a play and extend that lead. Madison has a pass caught by Ivan Berry for a big gain down inside the 30. Good pickup there for Cedar Falls. That's going to bring up a first down. Cedar Falls trying to extend their lead here on 1st and goal. Give is to Washington again. Good moves back there, and he's going to get in for a touchdown. Deuce Washington III gets in. the 5'8", 185-pounder out of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. So it's 14-6 Cedar Falls. Defense trying to make a play, and they do just that. That's going to be a big sack for Ulysses Washington, the fourth. Now Cedar Falls back with the football here shortly before half. Madison steps up in the pocket, has Ivan Berry again, who's been fantastic today, and he's got it all the way down to the 16-yard line. 1st and 10 for Cedar Falls, as now they're going in the heavy set. I formation. Here comes the running back on that play, Mac Bannister, who gets in for the touchdown, and Cedar Falls extends their lead now up 21-6. Bannister hits the Heisman pose, and Cedar Falls trying to extend their lead before the break. Going end zone, and that is going to be caught by Jay Kumar. The tight end gets into the end zone, and a couple big plays before the half leads Cedar Falls to a 28-6 advantage. But Solon trying to do a little damage control here as a field goal right before the break makes it 28-9 at halftime. But 4 touchdowns is going to beat 3 field goals every day of the week. Here's Cedar Falls with the football. Pass is complete. Oh, look out of the way. Oh, my goodness. George Ehlers just simply drops the hammer there, the 250-pounder out of Alabama. What a play there. No points come out of that drive. Solon trying to get things going again, and that's going to help as that's a touchdown for the Spartans. Nice touchdown reception there for Solon as they need every bit of help they can get. Down big here. Now a 28-16 game. Madison gets out of the pocket, going end zone, but there's a mistake as it's intercepted. Solon's going to have a 99-yard field, but they at least have the football after the pick as Madison makes a rare mistake. And Solon driving it all the way down, trying to get within a couple of points, and that is going to be caught for a touchdown. Touchdown for the Spartans as they're making a comeback bid here, down 28-22. But Madison takes a deep shot, and that is going to be caught. Jay Kumar, what a job to hang on to that football despite the big hit. And now the Tigers going to try a field goal here. Joey Kenton on to attempt this kick, try to make it a bigger lead for the Tigers as they lead 28-22. That kick is up, and it is good. It's a 2-possession game once again as they lead 31-22. Good kick there by Kenton to make it a 9-point game. Solon in big trouble now, down 2 scores with 3.5 minutes to go, and that is going to be the dagger. It's a pick, and it's 6. Tavier Johnson with the pick 6 there for Cedar Falls. And that is going to be the dagger for Solon. Cedar Falls with a hard-fought battle here today. Wasn't perfect, but they were very good, and they take a huge 37-22 lead as it's been a good showing here today by the Tigers. Solon still trying to make a play, but that is another pick. That one is intercepted by Braxton Hall for Cedar Falls, and they are going to win this one 37-22. As we finish this episode off over in Waverly at Go Hawk Stadium, Central City and Waverly-Shell Rock meeting up today, and that's going to be an interception for Waverly-Shell Rock. Nick Goings with the pick. He had that big scoop and score last week that really turned the momentum in that win over Grundy Center. He gets the pick there as Waverly-Shell Rock trying to score first. And here comes Juan Vaughns. He gets it on the outside. He's going to dive, and he's going to get in for the touchdown. Waverly-Shell Rock strikes first over Central City, and they lead 7-0. Good score there by Vaughns, the wide receiver. But Central City going to try a field goal to get within 4 points. Here on 4th down and 7, kick is up, and that kick is good. 7-3 our score. Waverly-Shell Rock with a 4-point edge over Central City. And now they're on the 1-yard line. You know what that means? It's the T formation, and that's going to be a touchdown. Hugh Kraus, the big freshman out of Tennessee, gets into the end zone. And Waverly-Shell Rock extends their lead here 14-3 over Central City. The Wildcats trying to make it a 1-score game once again with a field goal here on 4th down. Here in the 3rd quarter, kick is up, and it's going to sneak in through the right upright. That kick is good, and Central City back within a score at 14-6. On 4th down, Waverly-Shell Rock trying to extend their lead. Brett Dubose cannot convert the 1st down. A big 4th down stop there by Central City as they are trying to make this a game. They could tie the game with a touchdown and conversion, but that's not going to get it done as Nick Goings, he had the pick earlier. Now he gets back there for the sack and sets up 4th and very long. And now Waverly-Shell Rock back down to the 2-yard line. With less than 2 minutes to play in the game, Hugh Kraus gets in for his 2nd touchdown of the day. And Central City falls behind here 21-6 after the Waverly-Shell Rock touchdown. The Wildcats still trying to fight here late in this one, but it's 4th and 24, and that's trouble as that's going to be a sack, and the Go Hawks are going to get it after Bo Cooley gets the sack at the 1-yard line. And, of course, that just means touchdown number 3 for Hugh Kraus as Waverly-Shell Rock makes it a 28-6 advantage here as they're piling up the points late in this one. Central City really just falling apart late in the game. A minute to play in the game, and Central City still trying to make a play, but that's not going to help as there's a big sack for the Go-Hawks. That's going to make it 4th down and 14 yards to go. Central City with a last desperation heave, and that's going to be intercepted. A pick there for Waverly-Shell Rock by Devon Ray, and he's going to go all the way for a touchdown. Devon Ray, that is, gets into the end zone for the score. A pick 6 for the Go-Hawks. As this thing is well over with, 35-6, Waverly-Shell Rock leads. Central City takes one last heave, and that's intercepted. Brock Cassidy with the pick, and that's going to be your ball game. Several picks late for Waverly-Shell Rock as they're going to win this one 35-6. A fast finish in this one, a great defensive effort for the Go-Hawks as they are going to take down Central City and stay unbeaten. They win this one 35-6. And of course, that means let's take a look at our conference standings. The only team that has played and won 3 conference games is Waverly-Shell Rock. They're 3-0 in the conference. They stand atop the leaderboard. But 2 other teams are still undefeated. The Cedar Falls and Starmont both sit at 2-0. While Don Bosco, of course, loses their first game of the year, and they sit at the bottom of the conference standings right now at 1-1. But still a whole lot of football to play this season, as we will have plenty more action coming up. Now, next week, Don Bosco will have their bye week to try to regroup from that difficult loss to Starmont. But Waverly-Shell Rock, Cedar Falls, and the Starmont Stars all will be in action next week. So be sure to check out that video coming up next week here in the Iowa Conference Series on YouTube. We'll see you then, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.